So here we are at pulling into Silverleaf Hills Training Center. We are in Summerfield, Florida. Actually, the address 15920 US Highway 301. We're about 20 minutes south of Ocala. We got a little gate code here to keep everybody honest. So Silverleaf has got a lot of history to it. Originally was a stallion farm, and as a stallion farm, it was a successful farm, and then it was at a later stage Padua, and as Padua it was they turned it into a training center as well. And we've got a little housing compound here. This is actually a house we utilize when I come in and out. It's another good property here over to the right we work with. This is the Q barn. This is the quarantine barn. So when horses came in from different places, quarantine barn's pretty useful. Nice loading ramp. We've got 4 paddocks over on this side. Quarantine barn holds 5. The paddocks are really good for turnouts when we need them. We're actually getting ready to paddock out this side over here, so we've got more space. On the other side of that little hill is a dressage ring if needed. We use that for figure eights and to give horses a start there. We really don't get them on the racetrack until the month of January. And this little jogging ring over here, I'm going to run through grass here, and a lot of the young horses go right in here, and we get them going in this area. And these are some turnout paddocks where you can let a horse play, and if you want to stable them out here, it's easy enough. But Wayne Lucas actually built this, or actually designed it. You know, Wayne, obviously amazing guy, and when Padua built it, he recommended a lot of the things that they've done here. So Wayne responsible for the design, and Wayne a good friend of mine, of course, and I tell him all the time he shouldn't have never let this one go. So coming into the front gate here, this is one of our 6 round pens, and little entrance here. We don't ever shut this, but barn 1 to my right, another round pen. Of course, the paddocks we talked about, and the barns are ordered. Barn 1 here, barn 2 on the other side there, barn 3 and barn 4. And barn 1 we typically put older horses in. Barn 2 is youngers. Barn 3 strictly fillies, 2-year-old fillies. Barn 4 2-year-old colts. So the property is really well designed, very, very good layout, makes our job easy. A training stand keeps we can sit there and watch horses go, have a cup of coffee. Got our own starting gate, and then we another round pen. Horses have there are 24 stalls in each barn. This gives us a total of 96. The property is really well designed, very, very good layout, makes our job easy. A training stand keeps we can sit there and watch horses go, have a cup of coffee. Got our own starting gate, and then we another round pen. Horses have there are 24 stalls in each barn. This gives us a total of 96 to work with, and this year we needed almost all of them. Some seasons we put horses in barn 1, but most seasons, or not some seasons we put horses in barn 1. This season we almost haven't had room for them. And so we'll just walk into the office real quick, and then we'll go from there. We'll connect with Teague on the Zoomcast or podcast.
Welcome back to the Horses Now podcast. Boy, do we have a treat for you today. Kenny is going to give us a glimpse into the Silverleaf training facility in Ocala, Florida. What's up, Kenny?
Oh, pretty chilly here right now, although it's about 6 degrees in Kentucky this morning, and
don't talk to
not
me about
more
chilly.
than 20-something at Oakland Park, so we're pretty fortunate. But
what is chilly for you right now?
Well, 45, less than 50 degrees here in Ocala. It feels like it's 10, but we're, this is Florida. It's supposed to be a little warmer than that. But anyway, it's all good. The horses love this weather down here. And what we're going to show off today is how our young horse operation works. And some of you have heard about the yearling sales that I attend and some of the things we do there. But this is the next stage, and people don't usually see the inside story on how young horses get prepared. And there are a lot of really fine outfits in Ocala, Florida in particular. There's also some in South Carolina that prepare young horses for the races. And this is the base of our winter operation for our babies.
What's the history of Silverleaf? How'd you come about this place, Kenny?
Well, goodness. Silverleaf was actually a Silverleaf farm years back, and it was a stallion operation. And then it changed names or hands to Padua. It was called Padua for a while. And then the property that we're on now, we only have the training center portion of it. The original plot of land was 730 acres. And then I was fortunate enough to make a connection through Todd Pletcher's mother, Joan Pletcher, actually helped me acquire the property because we needed a location for all our young horses. And you can't really get a lot done during the winter, especially in these frigid temperatures. So we come down here and we put a team together and give the young horses a chance to get miles in and school in the gate and really a lot of the basics.
Why? So, what makes Ocala an ideal location? I mean, obviously the weather, but is there anything else that helps?
Really, and there are a lot of farms down here that have training tracks that are ideal for all this. And
Got it.
We're able to get our work done without stoppage. And I'm going to give you a quick tour of the office here. I've got to figure out how to flip this phone around, and I am not great at that. Okay, so these are the training boards here in Ocala. If you look. This board right here, this line right here is barn 1.
Okay.
This is barn 2, barn 3, and barn 4. There are 24 stall barns here at Silverleaf, and pretty well organized. Barn 1, typically, these are barn 1 horses, and these are horses that some older horses, all the older horses go into barn 1 first. Barn 3 is fillies. And barn 4, colts. Okay. Then as you go through the office, we've got some memorabilia. Tahana Run, horse we're really proud of. War Dancer won the Virginia Derby. Mm-hmm. There's Skydivers Preakness. There's Dominic Brennan, who I've worked with for 35 years. Dominic broke Curlin, Skip Away, Einstein, Take Charge Lady, Mystic Dan, Torpedo Anna.
Okay.
Milena runs the office. Say hi, Milena. Hey. She's running the show here. She keeps everybody in line, takes care of payrolls and stuff. Daddy's little darling, American Oaks win. So we've got some memorabilia in here.
Awesome.
And then we will step outside real quick.
I want to encourage our podcast listeners, go to the Horses Now YouTube channel and really try to watch some of these YouTubes because Kenny gives you some great visuals on these podcasts. So you get to see some really cool things. So just FYI, if you're just listening to the audio, really go seek out this video sometime.
So this is Stephen Hayes. Stephen's our foreman here. He's learning the trade under Dominic. This is the first time he's worked at a 2-year-old facility. But, obviously barn 1 here, barn 2 here.
Kenny, it's beautiful.
Barn 4 for colts. barn 3 for fillies. So the fillies normally prepare on this side during the morning. We keep the fillies separated from the colts. We've got Maria there on the stable pony. She rides out and gives them a little bit of a lead. And then the colts warm up on this side, and they're headed out in groups now. And they typically gallop in groups of 2s and 3s, depending on numbers. Sometimes we separate them, but most of the time they're in 2s and 3s.
Kenny, is that circle area, is that to kind of simulate a paddock?
Yeah, it's just a little walking ring to get them going.
Okay.
So makes it the horses need some sort of semblance of a guide and where they need to be. Read them off to me, guys. And I'm learning Mackenzie filly. These are all fillies.
Gervin, yes, it's valid.
It's a Gervin filly. So we'll call some of them out when we get out on the racetrack.
So you're still kind of learning some of who these horses are, I would assume.
Well, what happens is that, and we also have these out paddocks out here where we can turn horses out in the out paddocks, and there's actually stabling out there, but we don't stable them out there typically.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to walk out to the training stand. We've got a stand here that we view them. So it's a really great facility. I got lucky because the owner was in between whether to sell this or actually tear it down.
Interesting.
And because the property hadn't had horses on it in over 10 years. So I did a deal. We've got round pens covered. There are 6 covered round pens for the youngsters.
Now you mentioned break. I think you said break a horse. I could be wrong, but does that mean kind of getting them saddled, getting them accustomed to a rider?
It's probably a poor term, but breaking to saddle.
Okay.
It's really schooling to saddle, but these round pens are utilized for that. We use the advanced retreat method. There's actually 2 round pens. I don't know if you can see the one in between those 2 barns.
So that's indoors. Kind of indoors?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit later in this episode, we'll walk over there. But these are basic things. We use the advanced retreat method was a really good schooling method for Monty Roberts, and we utilize it here. And I think horses, it's called join up. I think we've talked about it on the show. If you go and you look up join up, then it's a really great way to teach a young horse to get going. And for the most part, they do really well. We'll and I'll tell you, there's 9 horses in this set. And so when they come on the racetrack, I don't know if you can see the starting gate over there. Mm-hmm. And then there's a group that's jogging on. And we get excitement around here. You know, these are young horses and they're learning. And sometimes they drop riders. And sometimes they get loose.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to catch them.
Yeah.
And so
how do you catch a horse that gets loose, Kenny?
Sometimes you just have to be patient. You hope they don't hurt themselves.
Okay.
The worst thing in the world is if a horse runs through a fence. While we're waiting for that group to come around, you'll have a group coming down the backside. I'll show off our mound of manure.
Ooh,
I know everybody's really excited about that.
Oh, wow.
There's our New Holland tractor with the manure dump.
That's a lot.
And we have to. It's very expensive to use shavings, and then you have to dump there, and then you have to have a company come in with a semi and remove all that. Quite expensive per load. But let's get back to horses.
I don't know that I've ever would have thought about that being a thing. But yeah. Okay.
Horses over horse manure. So this is a nice set. Read them to me, guys.
Inside is the Uncle Mo.
Uncle Mo colt.
Outside is very connected.
The Connect colt on the outside is out of CJ's gal.
Okay.
Middle is Power Aura.
Power Aura in the middle. Power Aura is partnered out with Terry Bradshaw, the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Nice.
Him and Kurt Menefee are in on him.
Nice.
And we've got a couple of more coming here.
Raging Bull outside, Vekoma inside.
Raging Bull on the outside, the chestnut. And So Special is the Vekoma colt on the inside.
Kenny, where do you find riders for this?
You have to hustle sometimes. Here comes another group here. We'll introduce them first. Which ones we got, guys?
On the outside. Gervin, yes, it's valid.
Gervin filly on the inside, and on the outside, Omaha Beach filly.
What are you looking for here, Kenny? Is there anything you're spotting?
Stride and how easy they do things. At this stage, we're just trying to figure out which ones are natural athletes. So that pole they're passing there, right there, is the 8th pole. And then they're going to gallop. They'll finish all the way to the wire. There's another set.
Maxfield inside, Supremacy outside.
So Maxfield on the inside, Supremacy filly I bought at Tattersall's in England on the outside.
Nice.
That's a stallion that was a top 2-year-old in Europe.
Nice.
Specifically England.
You see,
so they're going to finish from the quarter pole to the wire, and there's another training stand on the other side, a reviewing stand. This place is really well made. We got really fortunate that.
How's the surface?
Surface is great. Same gentleman that built Santa Anita's track, and I believe he also did Lone Star. I can't recall his name, but they really did put in a really good surface.
Is it a certain kind of dirt, Kenny, or is it just kind of just normal?
You know what? I'm not an expert at dirt, but they've got we work on the mixture. It has to be graded regularly.
Sure.
The maintenance is extremely expensive. You have to have water trucks. You have to have harrows. You have to have staff that hits it early in the morning. It's a constant.
I mean, you're running a racetrack there, basically. I mean, it's a lot to do.
No question. We have to constantly stay on top of a lot of details around here. It's property, and I don't know how many people know my background other than my mother gave me great advice when I was a young man. Is that put if you win races, put your money into property, and a lot of these, instead of paying stall rent, we'd prefer to have our own facility. And fortunately, this was owner financed, and it helped us be able to get a lot of the expenses of this going. It was nearly $800,000 to get it up and running. And one of the bigger challenges, but I like those things.
It's gorgeous though. The stables there. I like the steeples. It's awesome looking.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful, beautiful piece of property.
Kenny, what's anything that sets Silverleaf apart from the other training facilities in that region?
Well, probably the setup. These barns are so uniquely convenient and functional that you'll be able to. Let's see. I'll flip it again here. They're in quadrants of 6, so you'll get a man stall one. You get a man on each corner, and they, as you can see, kind of similar to the barns they run at the racetrack, but halters hung, name cards. We use name cards everywhere, and these are the future for our barn. Torpedo Anna was in barn 3 when she was a young horse. Mystic Dan was in barn young horse, and it takes a good team of people. We've got a lot of people that are H2A visa people here because the H2As, we have a dormitory on the property.
Nice.
Where we put the team up, so they've got a good place to live. And the H2A or H2Bs are most of the racetrack help, and that's a whole nother deal. But staff, and you mentioned about riders, you have to, in a lot of cases, you need more help, and the visa programs were highly involved in all that.
How much staff does it take at a place like Silverleaf?
Oh goodness, I'm going to say we have probably 50 employees here. Best guess. Charlatan colt. This is a nice horse. Volatile filly. She's an Oklahoma bred. This is a filly that really showed well at the sale. This is a Not This Time colt from Phasic, tipped in October.
Now, when you say showed well at the sale, what showed well? What's
just presented himself as an athlete and a horse that I thought had all the right parts in the right places.
Got it. That makes a ton of sense. Kenny, do you collaborate with any other trainers in the area there?
No, this is specifically ours. We don't have other trainers here at all. If I didn't have it relatively full, I probably would lease out some stalls, but really don't like and don't want to have to go through all that. As you see everybody coming back and then going back into their separate barns.
What's a normal day look like for one of these 2-year-olds?
Well, typically there are 3 riders in this barn. 3 riders in each of the 4 barns, and they get on 8 each, normally sometimes less. And as you can see, they're ridden back and they're all going back to their stalls. So they'll get out early. Some horses will go to a round pen or a turnout paddock where they can let off a little steam, bring them back in, dust them off. They'll be tacked up in sets of 3 per barn. And then when they come back in, once they tack them up, they'll go out in groups. And then after they pull up, like, for example, this gray horse, his name's So Special. Big, handsome colt, isn't he?
Oh,
Tacoma, really nice stallion, too.
I love the gray horses.
Yeah. So as you see the young man just closing the door there, they're going to go in here and... ¿Todo bien?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Muy bueno caballo, no? Yeah, you like him? So he's going to hop off, and then the young man's going to take the halter.
Is there any danger to this job, Kenny?
Oh yeah, you got to be good at it. I mean, it's there's a learning curve to learning how to handle horses. And for example, you're going to see him take off the saddle, and then after he takes the saddle off, he's going to hang it on his arm, and then he's going to reach for the bridle. And as you notice, he's take the halter and he's hung it around the horse's neck so he can put it on his nose.
Interesting.
So all that went smooth. I didn't plan any of this, guys. This just kind of happened. But this is every one of these horses in the barn. This is happening right now. So now he's going to get his shank. He's going to put it over the horse's nose. And this is a colt that went through a yearling sale, knows what he's supposed to do. Easy to handle. Most of the yearlings that we buy have been through an auction. He's going to get that chain so it's over his nose. No necessita lip. No. He's going to put it on his lip, but I don't think he needs that. He's going to change that up so it just goes over his nose.
Beautiful horse.
Go. Horse is being good and cooperative.
Yeah.
His instinct was to put it on his lip because he thinks the horse is probably going to act up a little bit, but let's see how he acts and when he comes out. So now he's going to walk this colt 30 minutes. And you notice this colt's got front shoes on.
Okay.
I know, so you probably can't see it in the video. So he's going to walk him for 30 minutes. They'll take him out on the wash rack on the other side.
What's the 30-minute walk do?
It's called cooling out. This guy's what you call a hot walker.
Okay.
And that's where I started. I started as a hot walker for Shug McGahee. Was green as grass. Didn't know what I was doing. Learned the trade. And when you hot walk, you're going to get bit a little bit every now and then, and you got to be careful you don't get kicked, and you got to don't get your feet stepped on.
So if any of our listeners are Yellowstone fans, there was an episode towards the end of that series where one of the cowboys got kicked and killed. Is that something, do any of your workers get kicked? Is that something that happens often?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We have extensive workman's compensation policies.
I'll bet.
Yeah, it's a risky deal. So they're going to clean him up.
Well, this is the shower stalls here, I guess.
Yeah. They're going to clean him up. They've got a blanket all ready for him. It's hot and cold water, so they've got warm water on them, so that's good. They'll clean him up here. They'll hang a blanket on him. He'll walk for half an hour. Then after he walks, then they'll put him back in the stall, and then we'll come back around and they'll get fed, typically 10:30 or 11.
Now, Kenny, I'm assuming somebody
just brand new. We're teaching him.
So somebody's going to give you numbers, right? So when they worked out this morning, you're going to get the numbers from that, and you're going to compare that to see kind of where they're at as far as their where they are in their development. Correct?
There are not numbers at this stage. This is just
Interesting.
the basics.
Okay.
No, we're not analyzing speed at this stage. We're just teaching them to go around. It's kind of the equivalent to elementary school for most kids. We want to get them, teach them the basics, make sure that they act well, that they're good to handle. We want them to enjoy the process. This needs to be happy time for a young horse, that they go out and get to gallop with their friends and really just the basics. And the speed work won't start for probably another month from now. Right now we want to get some miles under them, get a little wind under them so that they've got, the ability to go out there and gallop well. And then after that, then we'll start speed work probably sometime in February. So I'm going to take you into our tack room, and this is where all the equipment lands. This is our saddles, bridles.
All the saddles there.
It's
Yeah.
an enormous amount of equipment to run this show. Bridle. I mean, every rider usually has got 2 saddles, 2 bridles. So they're each set on the next horse before they come back. They've got another horse ready. A couple of pony saddles. We've got just extra equipment here.
Yep.
Notes, dry the bits and bridles. It's a heck of an operation.
Now,
So Mary Ellen, say good morning. She's running around her making sure the stalls are bedded deep enough, the hoof or the feet are picked regularly.
God, there's a lot to do.
They'll help run feed. See the big shed on the other end there?
Uh-huh.
That's a shaving shed. See, there's another one on this end too. We have semis come in and drop massive amounts of bedding in those. And we've got one on each end. And we had a hurricane that came through here last year that just skirted past us. That was really scary because I thought those shavings bins were going to be gone.
Yeah.
We were really worried about that because they're not that tough, but they keep the shavings dry. And then I think you probably had a little peek into some of the stalls. See how the bedding. Here's the bedding on stall 1, barn 1.
It was pretty thick.
Yeah, I come in here and I always say, bed them deeper, especially in this cool weather. Horse got plenty of fresh water, hay in the corners. I like the hay in the corners. It doesn't matter which corner, but this, the deeper, the better, especially in this chilly weather.
Kenny, you got to go through a massive amount of hay.
Oh yeah. More hay they can eat, the better. It's a nice colt right here. You might hear about it. It's an Ohio bred by Golden Sense. Of course, we had Mystic Dan being a Golden Sense. This colt goes really well. He's owned by Rob Hutcherson and his mother.
Oh, Rob's a good. He's a well-known guy around town.
Diane Hutcherson loves this game. She's due a good horse. This crop of 3-year-olds we've got's not been the best in the world, but we're going to keep at it till we get her a good one. This one's owned by Lance Gasaway. Lance owns Mystic Dan.
Okay.
It's a gift box colt. He's got some partners in there. Candy Cane Crane.
Candy Cane Crane. All right. That's a cool name.
Yeah. Volatile filly. More than ready mare. And when we bought the place, these bars were not open, and I had them taken out.
Okay.
Because I want a horse to be able to stick their head out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Supremacy colt. He just came off the racetrack.
Kenny, who normally names the horses?
The owners do. We to name the horses, and that's actually. Here's a good one for you. If you don't name your horse by the 1st of February every season, then it costs you $200 to name to submit after the 1st of February to the Jockey Club. And so we try to submit a name before the 1st of February. And here we are, January 15th, and we are getting on the cusp of that. And we still probably have about 40 that don't have names yet.
Interesting.
Yeah, look, check this out. Look at these cranes.
Oh, wow.
Of course, Florida here is full of, there's birds everywhere all the time.
I guess you don't run into alligators there, do you?
Oh, yeah, we got gators. There's a big pond here close. It's got gators.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Keep those gators away from the horses.
Yeah, these are almost domesticated. They're so used to coming around here and nobody bothers them, and we let them kind of roam. It's a
awesome.
beautiful place. I got really lucky to have acquired this. I've been at this a long time, and historically it had horses with different people, different places. Barry Berkelhammer broke horses for me. Dominic had his own setup, and when we consolidated everything years back, it just made it so much easier for me. Here's another, I guess, somewhat interesting. We have our own some kind of laundry. We have our own laundromat.
Okay.
Because we've got so much laundry to do every day.
I bet.
We've got.
There you go.
Where they keep track of everything. It's really proud of this team here. They do a heck of a job.
Kenny, how much time do you spend there?
Not as much as I would like. I mean, I trust Dominic so much that I'm typically at the races, and it's not. I don't feel like I need to be here every day because Dominic's been doing this for a solid 40 years.
Okay.
He came up under Tony Everard, and Tony, one of the best horsemen I've ever known. He used to break yearlings for me. He broke Tahana Run. Dominic was on the team then. They got Curlin ready. They had Skip Away. For those that are kind of old school racing fans, a horse named Timely Rider, who I believe won the Florida Derby, was going into Kentucky as a favorite. But horsemanship's here, and then it's a matter of having the structure and the team, and then my job working the yearling sales is the young horses. So, or finding young horses at auction.
Finding the talent, right?
So let's ask Dominic some questions, Teague. So Dominic's here.
I'd love to ask him some questions.
I'm liking him to a grumpy old Irishman now, but he's not really. Hey, say hello.
Hey.
Show him your set list, Dom, and Dom writes out a lot of details, and he's a note keeper. I myself prefer he does this every day, and he's got who gets on him. You flip a page there. He's got sets, and he likes to write it all out. He's kind of old school.
I like it.
Train an old dog new tricks, but he's on top of it.
Dominic, what do you guys do differently there with the 2-year-olds than maybe some of the other training facilities do?
I think everybody that does the young horses here in Ocala basically do it much the same. Stall, round pen, racetrack. Some babies take a little more time than others.
It's not a complicated process. You keep it simple. Then you pay attention to the ones that are difficult.
Yeah.
And not all of them are easy. You get some that don't like their work, and you have to switch riders on occasion. We have one rider here that has a little trouble. We have to switch some horses around.
Yeah.
Dominic, how often do you see a horse that you just think, hey, that one's special?
I wish I knew that.
Curlin's the best story. So Curlin, he was getting Curlin ready, and he says to me, this one's kind of freaky, Kenny. And I went and watched him work one day, and I said, oh my God, he's a beast.
Yep.
But they're all different. Mystic Dan was kind of a quiet one. He did everything right every day.
Torpedo Anna was a handful.
Torpedo Anna was a handful, he just said.
What's that mean, Dominic, by a handful? Just sassy or?
She was just tough, Where Mystic Dan was like laid back, nothing bothered him. But she was, I mean, you had to put the certain rider on her and stuff like that to get along with her.
Okay.
But when she trained good, you know?
Well, obviously, she's one of the best fillies to ever do it.
Yeah.
Swiss Skydiver spent quite a bit of time here too. She was probably the first superstar we developed off here. And
Now,
then to think that Torpedo Anna would eclipse her has been pretty amazing. I thought I'd never have a filly better than Take Charge Lady. Dominic broke her. Yeah. Swiss Skydiver, wins the Preakness, and then Torpedo Anna comes around, and we're a whole nother level. We're hopefully Horse of the Year. Here's another group coming right here. Who we have, Stephen?
We got an Audible on the inside and a Candy Ride Stronger Than Ever on the outside.
These are both colts here. Audible colt, closest to us inside. Oh, wait. Audible's on the inside. Candy Ride out of Stronger Than Ever. The mare won the Silver Bullet Day.
Okay.
I'll let you get back. You got any other questions for Dominic Teague?
Dominic, so obviously you got a strong Irish accent there. How long have you been in the States?
First time I came to the States was 83.
83. And you've kept that accent the whole time, huh?
I guess so, yeah.
I love it.
Look at this one. Bucking away.
By my standards.
That's a By My Standards. I think we've got 2 or 3 of those.
Raging Bull on the inside.
Raging Bull filly on the inside. Sorry, I can't zoom in any better than that. Yeah, he's originally from County Meath. Is that right, Tom?
Okay.
Outside Dublin.
Awesome.
He started with Tony Everard at another episode farm, and then I sent horses to Tony and Dominic early in my career. Dominic and I have worked together for over 30 years.
Dominic, last question for you. Who's the best horse trainer you've ever worked with?
He's standing right next to me.
Okay, fair enough.
So we work the sales together. And he's like what I'd call point man, and then we flow through them every sale. And at one point, I had other people help us, but we actually do best together. That we go through them, and then if I've got a doubt in my mind on should I go for this one or that one, then we walk back through them again, and then we help decide on which ones we're going to recommend that our clients bid on. And Take Charge Lady was one of the better stories. Is that I was really struggling between a St. Bellotto filly at TaylorMade and Take Charge Lady at Blue Water, and of course they weren't named then. And Dominic said it's a no-brainer. The DeHare filly, Take Charge Lady. So he was the reason why she was purchased, because I really hadn't convinced myself she was the best of the two. And of course, she was a great filly in her own right, and certainly
Broodmare too.
Broodmare as well.
Yeah. Well, Dominic, great meeting you. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
That's it, right? Yep, that's it.
Yep. All right. Well, we're finishing our morning up here, and it's I'm headed back to Gulfstream Park myself now.
Okay, great.
I've got a runner down there today, and then I've got to fly to New Orleans on Saturday for several races, and then I'm back at Gulfstream for hopefully Mystic Dan and the Pegasus this week.
Awesome.
Or next week.
So that's the plan as of right now, right?
Rattle and Roll is off to he's in Saudi Arabia.
That's right.
He's landed there. He's going to get a workout next Sunday.
How was the trip?
In Riyadh. Well, it was a little complicated. The plane got delayed. They nearly missed their connection. They held the plane for him to go, and he ended up there in good order, though. And for those that know Danny Ramsey, Danny is in Saudi to gallop and work Rattle and Roll, and Francisco Serrano, who actually was one of our foremen here, went with Rattle as well. So they're excited about their trip, and I'm not going to be able to make it over for the King's Cup, but I'm going to try to make the Saudi Cup, assuming he can make that race. So,
that's so
we've
cool.
got a lot of balls in the air, and Rattle and Roll's another one. He started here as well. So it's we've got a nice foundation, and this is really where it all starts, and the process of bringing young horses around. And we're very fortunate to have great clients and good horses in a facility like this.
Super cool, Kenny. So thank you for taking us on the tour of Silverleaf. Anything else before we get out of here?
I don't think so. All good.
All right. Well, see
I
you.
hope it warms up for everybody, whatever part of the country they're in, and I hope California,
Yeah.
gets through all they're going through. That's just brutal to watch. from a
Thoughts and
distance.
prayers with everybody in California for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, I'll see you all at the races.
See you at the races.
All right.